I've been here before. Yes! How y'all doing out there? This is Butterscotch Angie Live. And today is Thursday. Now, I am here alone today. You know, I always have guests up here, but sometimes you got to do your show by yourself, which I have no problem with either. But I just want to say, there's so many things I would like to address right now. So in a way, I'm glad I'm here today by myself. You know, even though I appreciate the guests that I do come on my show because they are fantastic. I have no complaints about none of the guests I've ever had on this show for the whole year. Well, as we know, we're coming to that end now, people. That we are in the middle of December. And I'm going to get off this feed right now because it's time for me to just stay focused, and I'll come back to you. It's hashtag Butterscotch Angie Live. Talk to y'all later. Now, as I was saying to you all, there's so much things that we need to talk about that I would like to share with you. Like I said, we're at the end of time, which is the end of the year 2019. We always do this thing, make a wish for the new year, things that we plan around to do for the new year. Most of us say we're going to stop smoking cigarettes like myself, or we're going to lose some weight, or we're going to do this, or we're going to start getting more vibrant with ourselves, going out now that our kids got grown and big. You know, different things. We make these rituals for ourselves, but sometimes we don't ever follow through with all of them. But that's just like I say, if somebody's going to pray for me and my family, I want you to pray in silence. Because for some reason, when you pray in the open, it's a lot of negativity just wants in and continue to try to feed on your sadness or whatever is going on in your life. But that's here nor there. Some people don't believe in that. Some people say, well, they like open prayer. I don't like open prayer. I'll always say, pray. If you're going to pray for me in silence. That way I can get the full blessing, if it has any meaning. Yes, I had to say that because people got things twisted in what some people think they're positive, but they're not really positive in your life. You know, and we continue to let the world go around us and deal with all the things that's going on in this country. Such as, I want to talk about community. I live in a community out here in Staten Island. I am very disgusted. I'm disgusted with all the communities in every borough because, you know, we elect these politicians, you put them in office, and of course, you got to remember, they're there to sell themselves so they can get that position. All right? And they don't never follow through with all the promises they make to you in your community. Then, I'm not bashing the churches, but I have to say this. A lot of the times, you know, back in the day, churches were considered part of your family in your community. But that no longer really exists either. Churches that I've seen, that I've even been to out here on this island, are a disgrace. And I know some of you are listening and watching and don't like to hear what I'm saying, but I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. See, I'd rather be honest than be fake. Like most of the people out around you are fake. I am so disappointed that I haven't been able to find a church home out here because they're just not what I'm looking for. Okay? But there was a time when people used to also talk about the fact that politics don't go with religion. Well, they've been saying that since I was a little girl. But you see, the church homes, they use these people. Vote for this person. Talk to your congregations in your sermon who they need to vote for. And the church members, they follow whatever their preacher tells them. And it's sad. That is so sad. Because let me tell you, these churches have failed the community as well. They do nothing in the community. If you call doing something, giving out canned goods at a freaking pantry in the community, you should be ashamed of yourself. Our children continue to suffer. That's what we need to be concentrating on in the community. We got a high risk of teen violence. That plague has entered in a lot of our homes, including mine. And I talk strongly about it because my beautiful baby daughter, she suffered brutally out here in Staten Island. And they did nothing. They did nothing. And you know, your brain, your head is very sensitive. It's the temple of everything. Picture yourself being attacked twice by two gang groups that you don't even know because of somebody being jealous of your child. Stomped her head twice, multiple concussions. Well, I'm here to tell you, my daughter is still suffering. She has no value with music, dance, none of that stuff. My daughter was very creative. All that was taken away from her. But you know what? Me as a mother, long as I say I'm breathing, I'm going to be there for my child. As a single mother, it's not easy. Sometimes people say you need two people, but you could have a mother and a dad, but the dad could still be weak and non-compliant. But the mother is the heart of the whole family. Always have been. She's the one who carried the child for 9 months. She's the one who do the breastfeeding, do everything. Yes. And when you have people who don't know what they're talking about, they always got something to say, but they weren't there. I go on my social media, sometimes I rant, sometimes I get very depressed because of the circumstance, and not all because of that. The fact that it hurts my heart. Every time I watch the news, it's either somebody's child's being abducted, sexually abused, molested, or killed. And you ask yourself, I really want people to really ask yourself. Stop looking at the color of somebody's skin, or being discriminatory because of the neighborhood they live in, or classifying everybody as the same because of the neighborhood they live in. Stop being ignorant, people. Wake up, because we all bleed the same way. We all was born with the same organs, everything. Only difference is that we all have different cultural backgrounds, different color skins in every race, And then we have problems such as like the drug epidemics on this Staten Island, pill poppers. Then you also have doctors over here that don't want to prescribe you the medication you need. They want to give you garbage to continue to destroy your capacity. There's so much things that's going on that you need to be focusing on than worrying about, oh, you think you cute or whatever. you see somebody and you ain't got nothing to say because you're resentful of them and you don't even know them. Who does she think she is? Or what's wrong with that? You know? Or what, you know? Grow up, people. That's what I got. Enough is enough. There's too much that's going around that you're missing out on because you're so focused on hating on other people that you don't know, or word of mouth because somebody told you some story and you just fall for it and you don't even know the person. You know, and it's sad. Why can't you just be yourself? You know, and you know, because me personally, I'm a people person, always have been. And those who really knows me, knows who Butterscotch Angie really is. Butterscotch Angie is my stage name. But you know, my real name is Angela Johnson McEachern. Okay? The name is Angela D. Johnson, which is my birth name. All right? But I've been around a long time. I've been around all kinds of people. I used to travel back in the day when I could do those things. Went to college, graduated. I didn't finish for my master's, you know. I didn't. But I always say that your character is who you are. And some people can't deal with it. Because I know I have a strong personality, always have been. And, you know, for some reason, people are intimidated by me. So by them being intimidated by me, they rather give negative feed and make up stories to try to hurt me. You know, and we as human beings, we all have feelings. I have feelings. I'm a softie. I really am. But at the same time, it hurts. But because I believe in the Creator, that's what keeps me going. Keeps me, sometimes I have to just bow down and get quiet and meditate. And keep saying, this too shall pass. Because we continue to have a lot of negative people around us, and they're not going anywhere. You know, and you know, it's just a heartbreaker, and I'm just glad today I had the opportunity to share this with you out there, everybody out there. You know, because those who watch my show support it. I love you all. I continue to try to do all I can, and my main purpose is doing shows for our teens. That has been a struggle as an independent producer and director. It's hard. It's hard to find good staff. And I have to say that I have been blessed with some of the most nice people that I have that have directed my show, supports my show, and has been working with me. This has now been 3 years that I've been with CTV. And at one time I said, you know what? I'm tired. But you know, my minor and my passion was communication when I was in college. And I was good at it. You know, I passed up an opportunity to work for Channel 5 News. Why? Because I was like, you know what? The year that I never forget, my professor, Mr. Grossman, at State University of Old Westbury, where I graduated from, he gave me an internship out in the Hamptons at a radio station one summer. I did that radio station. I loved it. But then the following year, I was supposed to go do an internship for Channel 5. I passed on it because you know why? I was young. I said, no, I can't waste my whole summer just working, doing an internship. I'm going away with my friends to the Bahamas or wherever I was traveling. But that was a mistake that I made. But I don't regret it, though, because in my trials and tribulations, I learned and I learned. You know, I've had tragic in my life. I've been a victim. Oh yes, I died 6 times, and the Creator just was not ready to let me go from the trauma that I've had that has happened to me. And those who know me, they say, Butterscotch, you still there. You are a strong woman. There was times that I just wanted to give up on life myself. You know, I did. But something happened when I became a mother. Listen, I didn't give up my life, but I didn't have a productive life either because of the relationships. But if it wasn't for my parents, my mom is not here anymore. She's always with me. They were my soul. You know, I let my parents help raise my children for me while I ran the streets. Because I wasn't ready, because I was so depressed and went through a lot. But I kept my children safe. I didn't have them in my raunchy environment life that I had experienced and learned. So God blessed me with that. And I say that strongly because a lot of women out here that are being abused sexually along with their children, it still goes on. We have a system that doesn't do a damn thing for these people that need help. We have a system where you got children that are they're growing up from birth, living in a shelter. They don't even know what it's like to have a home of their own. And people are making money off of people being in shelters. It's a big business, people. And I tell you, and I tell anybody that, listen, everybody has an opportunity to do the best they can. But you know what? If nothing's going to come to you freely, sweeties, you have to work for it. And that's what I constantly tell my kids. When you work hard, don't you feel proud? I know when I graduated, I felt proud because I did it. It's nothing like being proud of yourself when you do things for yourself. You see, you didn't look for a handout. You worked for it, you earned it, and you got your certificates for it, your diplomas for it. This is the kind of stuff you need to encourage your children. We have a lot of kids out here that are so talented and gifted, and they don't even realize how gifted they are. You know why? Because they don't have nobody there supporting them. It's either not in the household, it's not in the schools, it's nowhere. So what happens, they turn to negativity, joining gangs. I know about the gangs and all that. That was one part of my life at one time. But, like I said, I feel the Creator put me through a lot of things, took away a lot of stuff, and brought me back. Because when I came back, I understood what it meant to be humble. And I used to hate when people used to say that word to me. And now I say it all the time. See, as you mature, as you're growing, you're going through your trials and tribulations, you're supposed to be able to learn from them. Some of us don't have that strength to do that in us. Like I said, there was a time when I wanted to give up. You know, and I'm not ashamed. And I don't want people to feel, people should not be ashamed. Half the world out here got mental health issues. Mental health is a big business, but there's a lot of people out here, believe it or not, and people on Wall Street that work every day. They has mental health. They go see a psychiatrist or whoever. They take pills for their anxiety. You know, that's what this world has become, a pill bank. Seriously. It really has. And some people abuse that pill bank. And some people that have these issues, they end up growing out of their issue, anxiety and stuff. I have anxiety disorder. And the reason why I'm bringing it up to you is because I have no shame in it. And I shouldn't be ashamed, and you shouldn't be ashamed if you have anxiety or it's all part of the mental health. Anxiety disorders, psychotic, all that stuff is all part of mental health. Okay? And it's nothing to be ashamed of, especially when you're aware of it and you know that this is one of the things and what makes you have these attacks. Now, let me tell you, I had anxiety over 20 years ago. My anxiety disorder was really bad. I was having real bad attacks. I'm in my 50s now. And I tell you, this year, from everything that has happened to my daughter, and also where it affected my health, my anxiety disorder came back with a vengeance. I was really sick. I was so sick that I was impaired on my left side for nerve damage on top of everything else. And let me tell you, I was by myself. I was by myself. I had people, I'll come out my building. First thing they would say, "Oh, I didn't know that was you. You lost so much weight." That's the first thing that came out their mouth. I said, "Look at this." I said, "Yeah, and?" Well, there's a thing called, I'd be sarcastic because sometimes I get like that. I'd be like, "Well, you know, sometimes when people get sick, they lose weight. I've been sick and I'm still sick." "Wow, you lost a lot of weight." I said, "That's all you can say? Are you trying to apply something else?" Sure. That's why I talk about devastation of character. People that have never known me, never been with me. I had one girl who was so devious. She put crazy stuff on my page. Ran around saying I was this, I was that. I said, ain't this something? I'm not even going to feed into it because I know for a fact, I know who I am. I know where I've been. I know what I've been through. I know about abuse because it was a part of my life where I was abused sexually and mentally. Yes, and physically. Domestic violence. And those type of shows mean the world to me when they come up. I love doing those segments because they're so important and they're so real because they continue to exist. But let me tell y'all one thing. This sex abuse, violence and everything, these children are mimicking this behavior. When I talk about teenage violence, you got teenagers that are being beat up by their boyfriends, sexually abused by their boyfriends, they call their boyfriends. And these are all kids. They shouldn't even be thinking about this stuff because I'm not going to say, I don't like to use the terms, they don't have no upbringing. That's what people say. Or they don't have this, they don't have that. Stop saying that about people and their children, people. Because you don't know what that family is going through. You don't know what's going on in that household. Instead of you judging somebody, why don't you try to help them? See, that's the problem. People are so quick to judge people and talk negative about them and say negative things about their children instead of asking themselves, why? Why is that girl out here dressed like that? There's something going on in her family. No, they sit there and nitpick and talk about her being a hoe or whatever they want to call her, and the mom is on crack or whatever they want to say, instead of trying to do something to help that child. You know, you can't help everybody. We know that. But it's better for you to shut your mouth and don't say nothing if you can't say nothing that would be positive to help that person. You know, and that's the problem. People always want to be in other people's business and don't know nothing about their business. They make up stories, they add, they take out. That's what they do. Until it's on the other foot. And I say to anybody, because I've been living this for a minute, but my daughter had a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. She was a leader in different programs. She was doing so well. When she got to high school, you know how it go. You know, when you're kids, you think you're grown now, you're in the big leagues now, you're in high school, you want to be this, you want to be that, you want to be accepted in this group, you want to be accepted in that group. And kids who are malicious took it for granted. You trusting somebody that you call your friend, and then out of one of the girls set you up because she liked this boy that liked you. Isn't that sick? That's the sickest thing I've ever heard. But this is what goes on. And I feel for those parents out there that has lost their children from teen violence. Teen violence. I just saw a couple weeks ago, it was a young man, very smart kid, good kid. They showed it, even made a video, just like they did with my daughter. Video. The boy was talking to a girl, and the other boy liked the girl. Whole bunch of boys jumped this one kid who had a future. He was very light. And they killed him. And they made a video and put it on the internet. That's some sick, demonic stuff. And if you go on YouTube, you key in something on YouTube. Say if you want to key in something about girls fighting in the locker room. You won't believe all the videos that come up that are such a disgrace all over the United States. That's why we got to get back to where we need to be with our kids. The internet and all of that is good, but it's being abused. It has opened doors even bigger for those predators out there. Now that the internet is on, it made it even better for the criminals out there. It's when we abuse things. I mean, everything is not good for us, as they say, right? That's just like, let me give you an example. Let me give you another example. Like, say if you like to eat a lot, you like food, right? Now, you know you're supposed to eat at a certain time so your food can digest right, so you don't go to bed with all that gunk in your stomach and then you have a bloated stomach, right? Well, when your body is so used to overeating, this is what happens. You get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because you abuse your intake. Now you got to figure out how you're going to lose some of that weight, because then you're going to have a lot of ailments, diabetes, high cholesterol. And I tell y'all, stay away from the Chinese place, please. That's another thing. There's so many topics that I have talked about and want to continue to talk about that affects us in our neighborhoods. And I only have an hour, so I'm going to go through each one that right now, much as I can, before I have to leave. Like, for example, in the low-income neighborhoods, haven't you noticed what's in the neighborhoods? I'm going to tell you what's in the neighborhoods. Bodega stores, they got stale food in it, stale products in it. You got drug addicts that come in there and sell food that they get from the pantry to the bodega stores, and they put it on the shelf to sell it. Yes, this is nothing new, y'all. Y'all know this is nothing new. Nothing new. And then you don't have a decent grocery store in your neighborhood. You got to get on a bus or whatever, take a cab to get to the other side of town to even go to a real grocery store. You got to travel to get to a real grocery store. Then, what else you have? What else do we find in our neighborhood that most neighborhoods don't have, that are upscaled? In the upscale neighborhood, they got everything. They got liquor stores around them in the neighborhood, restaurants. Don't mean they're any good, but they have this. Nice little stores, convenient in the neighborhood. But in the low-income neighborhood, they got bodega stores where and let me tell you what else. I'm going to tell you what else in the bodega stores in the low-income neighborhood. You don't see nothing healthy in the store. Nothing. All you see is a bunch of potato chips, Danishes, Drakes, all that stuff, all that sugar. Your kids run in the store after they get out of school and they go in there, that's what they buy. Junk, 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 junk. Ice cream. And most of the ice cream ain't even the real stuff. Now, they might sell Haagen-Dazs in there, and guess how much they want to sell for a little thing of Haagen-Dazs? $6. Now, if I went to the grocery store, I wouldn't have paid no $6 for that little thing of Haagen-Dazs. It would cost me less. Just to show you. You go into your neighborhood, bodega neighborhood, low-income neighborhood. I keep talking about the low-income neighborhood. Some people like to use the word project, because those are called low-income houses under New York City. All right? So, if you happen to live in a low-income housing development, such as NYCHA, what you see around you is bodega stores. You'll see a Chinese store up the street. You go in there, you see people going, buying Chinese food every freaking, I've seen this. It's crazy. It's like they got some type of poison or whatever they put in there, in that oil or whatever, and people become addicted. They eat that Chinese food like they ain't never had no food. I know somebody, I have a family member, she eats Chinese food every day and she's big as a house. My cousin from the Bronx. Got kids, don't even cook. The kids have to cook because they grown now, they cook. But she always order her freaking Chinese food every day. That's sick. That's like a drug. Yep. And let me tell you something else. Yeah, they've been shipping dogs, cats. They keep making buses on these people shipping this stuff from China over here in this country. Going into the Chinese restaurant, takeout. That's the takeout mostly. And you're eating dog and cat. There was one, I'll never forget it. There was a place in Maryland. It was all over the news. I don't know if y'all remember it. Let me tell you the story. I wish I would have brought the article, but I didn't know I was going to bring it up. But let me just tell you all the story real quick. The people was going to, this Chinese takeout was open up until 12 midnight. Or maybe after 12, I think to 2 in the morning. People were going after, go to the clubs and whatnot. They were going to this Chinese place. Line was lined up. And you know what they mostly order? Fried chicken, french fries, fish, jumbo, they're not even jumbo shrimp fried rice, that fried rice stuff, Those were the main orders. And to show you, the people didn't even pay no attention to the odor that was around this Chinese takeout. One day, the inspectors went to the place. So I guess somebody did report it. When they went, they told them to open up their basement. When they went down in that basement, there was nothing but skint cats and dogs down there. It was smelled, everything was rotten. This place that was open all time up until 2 o'clock in the morning, that people was going and loving that Chinese food, they were eating cat and dog. That's right. And they still doing it. And I'm very particular. Like my daughter, she likes Chinese food, and I'm like, Raven, listen, no Chinese today. I don't even want no Chinese food. Once in a blue moon, I might eat Chinese food, but I'm very particular where I go to get my Chinese food. I'd rather eat Japanese food than eat Chinese food. Japanese food is more healthier than Chinese food because they cook with a lot of vegetables. See? But overall, you got to be careful in general. I like to cook because my mother was an excellent cook. I love you, Mommy. Because if it wasn't for her, she taught me everything I know about cooking. I used to love to sit her and tell her stories about her childhood in the South while she's cooking and teaching me at the same time. And people, let me tell you something. It's nothing wrong with going out and eating sometimes. But don't make that a ritual when you know you can't afford it. Stop being lazy. Go home and cook a real meal for your family. Stop buying takeout every week or every other day. I see it even in my building. Chinese men coming up, people ordering all this Chinese food. If it ain't Chinese food, it's some horrible pizza. And let me tell you, I love Italian food, but let me tell you something. I had to test a lot, when we moved here, I had to test a lot of pizzerias that we ordered pizza pies at the home, to come home, to bring home. And some of them, I was so shocked. I said, Lord have mercy, how do they stay in business? It's a shame. I'm telling you. Y'all got to watch what you're eating, too. You really do. Because a lot of your health problems come from the food that you ingest in your system. I'm not saying becoming a vegetarian because everything that they call organic ain't organic either. They put the name on it and the government let them get away with it because somebody's making money. How these people get away with all this stuff is because somebody's getting paid. That's why it's so easy for them to come in this country and do all this stuff they're doing. That's still a major factor. Okay? But today, we are not going to talk about Donald Duck today. I refuse to talk about Donald Duck on my show. Let somebody else keep talking about it. I don't want to talk about Donald Duck. So we're not going to talk about Donald Duck. But just to show you what I am saying to you is that food you ingest, you don't think, I'm sorry, I just took off my thing. Can you hear me, Brian? All right, darling. In our communities, I get back to that because it's so important. And what I always suggested, and I continue to suggest, but when you don't have people who really mean what they say, when I came here, I went to Albany to fight for things in the school system that I recommended. They talk about bullying programs. I brought that thing up. My daughter sat there in front of all these senators up there and spoke very well. She was in elementary then. And they were shocked. She shocked them. And she shocked me too. But the point that I'm making is that I said, okay, why don't you put in your curricula, you got health, you're teaching kids about how to use condoms and all that in school now. You make that a subject. Why don't you make bullying part of a subject where the kids have to take this course? Because they failed on that too. They talk about, we got a bullying program. Once in a blue moon, there's somebody that comes to school and do a little play exercise about bullying. Those kids sat there and watched that in the auditorium. When they got out, Well, what happened? What happened? People out there fighting in the street. Kids out there fighting like they always doing, bullying somebody else. They didn't learn a damn thing. And I said, I have a proposal that I wanted to put through. And that I think it's the best they could do for the school system. And you know, one of the politicians who was supposed to have been being up under me and helping me with this, got her elected. What did I tell you? Oh, you just forgot, huh? Oh, never available, huh? Okay, well, I ain't gonna say no more. And if she ever watched my show, she already knew who I'm talking about, her. But this is what I'm telling you. This is what continues to go on. See? And then they have in the low communities, they have programs like JCC running your community centers. Community centers. You know what I'm saying? You have that. You have people who don't know nothing about this community running it, getting paid, and guess what? It's a hangout. It's nothing good going on in the community center that will keep these kids off the street. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you're in Brooklyn, you got more stuff. You got more things for people of ethnic because Brooklyn is so big. It's so converse with so many different cultures. They have so many programs for your kids. But you don't have, they got programs over here for kids, but your kids are not involved with it. Half y'all don't even know half the stuff that your kids are entitled to because they're not telling you. They're not telling you because they don't want your kids to have nothing. And I'm saying it, I'm telling the truth. It's sad. It's sad because these are children. We're all the Creator's children. All of us are. And everybody deserves to have a nice life. All this poison. And you know what? Popo, please. I told somebody, I don't care. I will never date a man in blue. That's just me through my own experience, honey. And I can't say all the men in blue are evil. No, I can't say that. But a lot of them misuses their badges. You know it and I know it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They do. And they still do. They continue to get away with it. But over here, it's like a network of treachery. And I guess somebody probably going to try to blow my horn when they see this show. But I'm not going to hide behind my show. I say things, I'm only trying to be positive. I just want the world to be a better place. And if you think the world's going to be a better place because you have people of different cultures over here, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. The world would be a better place if everybody would be positive and treat people equally. That's how the world would be a better place. If people are treated right. Treated right. That's how the world would be a better place. And every year we go through a ritual of New Year. Oh, I got to talk about Christmas first, y'all. Let me talk about Christmas first. Every year, people come out their pockets. They donate to this. Go and give out free turkey saying they did something for somebody. Are you kidding me? Some of them turkeys that came off the trucks, there was one place, it happened this year, right here on Staten Island. They had like 3 big bags at this church where they had to throw the turkeys out because they were no good. And thank God the church members had the decency to realize that we can't give these to people. These turkeys are no good. On the other hand, that could have been another organization who would said, oh hell, they'd be glad they got a turkey. Have people stand online who can't afford, get this food that's supposed to be free and giving. But this one particular church, I was really shocked, but I was really happy to know they did that. They said, they told the people, we don't have that many turkeys now. Half the turkeys, as you can see outside in them bags, they were no good that was shipped over here. We will not give these turkeys to you people. They're no good. And I applauded. I wish I had the cameras out that day so I could have did a whole segment on that alone. And I just happened to be with somebody when I went to help out and saw this. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody don't have have good intentions. They want to shine in the light, get a tax write-off. Then they go back to the evil, racist persons that they are. That's who they are. They give you the fake smile just for that one day. But the next day you see them, they act like they don't even know who you are, don't even know that you exist. Yes. Fake. And then, like you already know, a good shopper is a shopper who don't wait, go in the stores, buy all the stuff from the store for your kids because you want them to have it on Christmas Day. Don't you know Christmas is man-made? It's all man-made. It's something that's been instilled in us since we were kids. I know, because I was a child. You know, but one thing I can tell you one thing. My parents always told us as a child, we are Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. We are your parent. We're the ones who buy this stuff for you for Christmas because we think you deserve it. We don't walk around telling our kids there's a Santa coming down the tree, the fake commercials and all that crap. It's stealing in children. Then you got those Santas out there that have children on their lap molesting children. You got people who dress up as Santa who ain't nothing but the devil. Okay? So stop telling your kids that there's a Santa and he comes down the tree in the middle of the night and he rides on a sled all the way from the North Pole to see you to drop off if you're good or not. That's all man-made crap. And people should stop doing that to their children. I'm telling you. Then New Year's come around, you make your wishbone, you end the relationship, you start a new relationship, you get a divorce, or you're getting married, or whatever, or New Year's for the New Year. Something always happening. But what always do happen on New Year's is the criminal, the violence. You got to be careful. Young ladies, you go out and drink. Have common sense. If you're going to drink, again, if you leave your drink, don't rely on your friends to watch your drink because they high and drunk too. Take it with you or leave it and don't go back and drink it because you got your rapists out there that's putting stuff in the drinks and your friends are so high or whatever, they ain't paying no mind to your drink. That's going on, the Mickeys and all that. That's still going on. And around the New Year, a lot of stuff really happens. It's like Satan said, this is their playground, honey. All kinds of stuff happens on New Year's. I used to love to go out and watch the ball when I was in college and all that. And, it was fun. But, I always was careful, honey. Whoever I'm with, I make sure I monitor mine. Because you know what? We all drunk and high or whatever. Who will remember what happened to what? You got to have some sense because there's crazies out here and they're everywhere. And they looking for you. They just waiting for you. They just waiting for you, girls. They waiting for you. Then you wake up, you don't know where you are, you don't know what happened, and you might not know what happened to your friend. You know, y'all were together, and then one of you two got lost, mixed in the mix. Then we got the vans. It's all over the circuit. They're going around. You please be careful. Women and children, be careful. Because you got these vans out there that's covered up, right? No windows or nothing. You walk as fast as you can, honey. Because that's probably one of them human traffickers just waiting to try to get one of you. Because that's a big business. I think human trafficking is bigger than sex trafficking at this point. That's how much money is involved with human organs. People are gone. They ain't never found them. And they haven't found them. The reason why they're not going to be found, either they're dead or they're being enslaved somewhere. Or, like I said, they're dead and their organs has been taken and replaced. It's a big business. So, what I had to say, I'm glad that you guys let me enjoy myself and giving y'all some feedback on certain things, topics that mean a lot to me, that I feel that's very vital to be discussed in the community and be talked about. You know, everybody's presence ain't the same, but you know what? If you got a heart, try to make that difference. We can't do everything by ourselves. We need support. We need people who support the causes and mean what they say. Not looking to support to figure out how they're going to get rich. But if you're going to support, show that difference. And a lot of things that are out here, organizations, they get all this money, and half the money ain't even going to the community. Community never see none of it. Until somebody make a beef about it and bring it to Albany's attention, that's when they'll come out and investigate. But what happens is that people in the community, they sit back, they lay back, they look like they looking for somebody else to do something for them. And then they want to complain. They don't go to no meetings. They don't attend nothing in their community they live in. Like the tenant meetings and stuff. How to change, how to make our community better. You need a community. You need the community as a family to make the change in the community. You are the bulk of the community. And don't let nobody tell me you can't. And I hate when people say, well, ain't nothing changed yet. Ain't nothing going to change. That's an ignorant fool. That sounds like a real idiot. Because that shows you where your mind is at. You gave up because you just gave up. And then for you to say that out your mouth, instead, you should be fighting. You have to live in these communities. You want to have nice things in your community, grass. You want to see bikes and parks like some of the other neighborhoods on the other side of Staten Island. You know, you don't respect your community. Your elevators, your hallways, garbage always in your hallways. Now, don't get me wrong. The maintenance people come and clean every day. You don't even have respect for the people who come and clean the community for you. You still dirty it up. Dirty it up, and it's a shame. It's either with your dog poo-poo, you don't clean up after your dog. You see children walking out, they got to go to school. They got to walk over poo-poo because you're too lazy. And like I always said, I'm a pet lover. It's sad that you abuse your animals like that. You leave them in the house all day because you're too lazy to get up and take your animal out because it's too cold out. Let your animal hold his feces and urine. Then when they get out the house, you let them pee in the elevator or poo-poo in the elevator, and you won't even clean it up. That's sad. That's so disrespectful. And I always say, people like that, you don't need to have no animals because you don't even treat the animal right. Because if that was you, if that how was you feel, you had to sit in your home all day, be tied up, and couldn't go to the bathroom. How do you think those pets feel when they have to hold their urine, waiting for somebody to take them out so they can breathe and go to the bathroom? It's sad. It's just so sad. But this is the world we live in. These are community issues that has been going on from time to time, still going on, still same old thing. And it's so sad when people ride by your building and you got a bunch of garbage in front of your building, piled up. It's not a good look. It's not. It makes your building look more disgusting when you see a bunch of garbage in front of the building waiting for the people to come and pick up the garbage. It's sad. That's not a good look. It really isn't. Well, my time is running out, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to share this with you today. And keep in mind, December 30th, I will be doing a holiday showcase here. I am still looking forward to seeing some beautiful children that would like to come on and perform. Parents, talk to me. I'm still taking you. You need to get in contact with me this week. The 30th is going to be on a Monday for me to do this holiday show. But I want to take it out with everybody being happy and looking forward to the new year. You can't ask for nothing more. And like my